This was tunnel warfare at its most brutal in Vietnam. Americans crawling around could be pierced by steel spikes, and as soon as their heads were exposed, the Viet Cong strangled them alive with ropes. Sometimes they would run into cobras and lose their lives in minutes. Like this unlucky man, crawling and crawling, above the Viet Cong directly poured water to drown. Even when American bombers were bombing, the Viet Cong were still alive and kicking underground. The U.S. Army threw grenades into the hole is also useless, because the internal structure of the tunnel is not a straight line, but curved. Grenades simply cannot blow up the Viet Cong. The U.S. Army was smart enough to use poison gas, but the Viet Cong could easily neutralize it with a wall of water, or by blocking the holes so the gas could not get in. The Americans also got 2 dogs to track the Viet Cong all the way inside the pigsty in order to get a feel for them. The U.S. Army tried to set up ambushes at the cave entrances, but unbeknownst to them, the Vietnamese had tunnels in all directions, up to 200 kilometers long. These tunnels not only lead to latrines, but also to rivers, where the Viet Cong could jump into the water and climb in smoothly. The most awesome tunnels, even dug to the U.S. military command, late at night while the U.S. troops do not pay attention to a sneak attack. Simply indefensible.
The man who invented the M18A1 Claymore was a real devil. It is an anti-infantry mine developed by the U.S. Army during the Vietnam War that contains 700 steel balls inside and can cause extremely terrible damage to people. It is now banned worldwide. It is 21 long by 14 high by 3.5 centimeters thick. With the raised side being the attacking side, it only causes damage to the area in front of it, and doesn't explode or fall in all directions like a normal mine. The mine has a built-in folding stand so that it can be stood up at any time, and a targeting spot on the top determines the range of attack. It's also very simple to use. Take a tree 50 meters in front of you as an example. When the height is 2.5 meters, align the center of the aiming line with the aiming point, and everything within this range will go up in smoke. After aiming, bury a tree shape in the rear and wrap the fuse around it. The reason for this is to prevent the mine from being yanked down by the fuse. The blasting cap is now unscrewed, and the detonator can be screwed on after it has been threaded in. The detonator is infiltrated with C4 explosive and filled with a large number of steel balls. To enhance concealment, the mine can be covered with leaves and the fuse can be buried in the earth. Connect the detonator to the test device first, then to the ignition device, removing the safety from the detonator. When the switch is pressed, if there is a flashing red light on the test device, the wiring is connected properly. The test unit can now be removed. The detonator, when pressed, will produce an electrical spark which will be passed through the fuse to the detonator and eventually detonate successfully. These steel balls will travel at supersonic speed, and all people will be sacrificed within 50 meters, and within 250 meters they will be either killed or maimed.
Whoever invented the trap was a genius. It's been a real pain in the ass for our soldiers. The Vietnamese invented pedal traps, which was specifically designed to deal with our troops' steel-toed shoes. Once our soldiers stepped into it, dozens of bamboo sticks were inserted directly into the calf, making our soldiers suffer a lot. But even more vicious is the canned grenade. 2 grenades are stuffed into an empty can. The grenades are pulled by a half wire in the middle. If a soldier passes by at that moment, if they touch the tripwire, they'd be wiped out. But there's nothing more sinister than a crossbow trap. If one of our soldiers touched the tripwire, the locking mechanism connected to the tripwire is instantly released. A poisoned, feces-soaked arrow shoots directly at the American soldier. Jesus wouldn't be able to save him. There's also the mind-boggling bamboo trap. If an ungrateful soldier passes by at that moment, the bamboo rafts will fall from the sky. We'll randomly select a few lucky people. The deaths were horrific. Even the Vietnamese would not let go of the poisonous snakes. They would throw them into the traps they had dug. The guys who fall in will get a big surprise. The vipers were thrilled to see their prey at their doorstep. The men up there are all confused when they see these traps. Who dares to go down to save them?